Good afternoon and welcome to Hartpury College, the esteemed sporting academy tucked away in the hills of Gloucestershire. And today, well, we're delighted to be bringing you some round 12 Greene King IPA Championship action as bottom of the table Hartpury look for what has eluded them since round 4 in the competition. A third victory that would see them close the gap on Yorkshire Carnegie above them. Their opponents today are Clive Griffith's Doncaster Knights, who are 3 places above them in the table. It is live streaming Championship Rugby action, and we're on the England Rugby Facebook page, YouTube page, and on championshiprugby.co.uk. Well, hello and welcome to a bit of a chilly Hartpury as we look ahead to this clash here. Delighted to be joined once again by England and former Lions scrum half Dowie Morris. Dowie, it's a little bit of a damp one, but there's plenty to play for Hartpury today. They really need to get going and work their way off the foot of that table, don't they?
They do. It's a must-win game, like you mentioned there. They've only won 2 games this season. They've had a ruck of injuries, but they can't. You can't blame that. A lot of teams have. Charlie Chapman, the scrum half has just got pulled away to go and play for Gloucester just down the road, out in Cast today. So it heaps the pressure on them, but they've got to start winning. You got Yorkshire playing Richmond today. That's an interesting thing. It's all about relegation this game today. Yeah,
and Doncaster getting 2 wins out of their last 3, so they're wanting to look up the table.
Yes, Clive Griffiths is a slightly happier man. I just had a chat with him. He is smiling because they had a great win against Coventry, only the second team to win at Coventry this season. It was a gutsy performance, a hard-fought performance, and they've got a lumpy pack out here today, so I don't think it's going to be exhilarating rugby. It's going to be very, very hard rugby. Again, Doncaster wants to put more points between them and the bottom of the table.
Yeah, all right, well, let's have a look at the championship fixtures then. Of course, last night had the first game of round 12 taking place. Nottingham losing out to London Irish there. Irish opening up a 14-point gap overnight. 2 o'clock game, Jersey Reds against Bedford Blues, already underway. 4th against 3rd for Harvey Biljohn's side, looking for 2 in a row. Then 3 o'clock games, Coventry against Cornish Pirates, 7th against 5th, 2 sides who lost last weekend. Ealing Trailfinders against London Scottish, 2nd against 8th. Ealing, who lost at Goldington Road last weekend. And then Richmond against Yorkshire Carnegie, as Dowie mentions, 10th against 11th at the Rec. And, Carnegie with a key win against Pirates in round 11. And we can see how that affects the table then. 6 points between 2nd and 6th, but really the focus is the bottom. Any of those bottom 4 could be dragged into a relegation fight, couldn't
they? Look, I mean, London Irish are almost home and hosed before the season kicked off, really. And with Ealing losing at Bedford, there's a lot of points between them. They will go back up in the Premiership. That's my estimation. But it's all about, the relegation. As I said, there's no playoffs now, unfortunately. So basically, it's the teams at the bottom. They want to be looking up rather than looking down.
Yeah, they certainly do. All right, well, plenty more to come from Dowie as we get closer to kick-off. But first of all, let's hear how the coaches are feeling. Well, John, this afternoon for Hartpury, it's got to be about scoring tries, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's quite an important game for us. I think down the bottom of the league now, Yorkshire sort of certainly impressing and moving up the league. And a tough game last week on Friday, losing a few players and that injured and not performing particularly well in that game. It's a big game for us, and certainly tries is something we've struggled this year on a bit, certainly in the back line. And we're looking to rectify that this afternoon.
Yeah, obviously we know that there have been a few players out, and obviously players going up to Gloucester. What do you need this set of players to show you today?
We spoke to him before about the game, just a bit of determination to work hard for each other, and the crucial thing for us this season has been individual errors that have let us down, and once you make one of those and the team scores 7 points, you start to chase the game. And last week we were well in the game before a really poor error cost us 7 points. So today we're looking for an error-free game with a lot of work rate, hopefully.
We wish you the best of luck.
Thanks very much.
Well, Clive, what's the message to the Doncaster Knights players this afternoon?
Underestimate these boys at your peril, basically. we're coming in here on the back of a good win, a nuggety win down at Coventry. As we found last year, if you take your foot off the gas, then these boys can punish you. They can play. They're well coached. They've got great facilities and got some damn good players in there. So that's the message all week. Back up what you did last week, and if you do that, we'll win.
You'll want to be looking up the table, of course, but we know how tight things are at the bottom and how quickly you get dragged into that relegation dogfight. How do you avoid the fear stopping the players today?
Well, you can't, if you go into the game playing with a fear factor, then that can be counterproductive to your performance. So all we're trying to do is make them to focus on the processes and the jobs that they're involved in on the field, and that'll take away a lot of the external factors, if you like that. And we've got a little bit of daylight there now. Today is a big game. If we can get a win today, then there's more daylight, and then with Richmond next week, then it's a big 2 weeks for us, and it's a big 2 weeks for these boys as well.
Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
So great to hear from Derek. I was going to say Derek Griffiths there. Goodness me. Well, that would have been lovely if we had heard from Derek Griffiths. Anyway, you can see the players being put through their paces, which is, they're certainly trying to get themselves up for this one, Dowie, and they need to.
Oh, without a doubt, they are. Sorry, I just turned myself up here. Yeah, look, it's not. They're a gutsy team. They're one of my favourite teams to come and watch Hartpury College, with the story behind them. They've been up 9 leagues in 13 years. It just proves that everyone, it is possible to have this aspiration to move up and up and up. And they want to be a feeder club. They don't want to go to the Premiership. They want to be a feeder club either to Bristol. Prime example, Harry Randall. Harry Randall, the live wire, the impish, the puckish little figure. He actually scored 3 tries in this fixture last year when they got a 5-point 4-try bonus. That's the type of thing they want. They want to produce people to actually go to the Premiership and to further their careers.
All right then, well, let's have a look at the teams ahead of this one, and starting with Hartpury as they look for their 3rd win of the season. As we've said, they make 5 changes for this one. Mike Wilcox returning to the fullback jersey, with Ben Foley switching back to his duties on the right wing, but we were a little bit fuddled last time. They switched shirts before they ran out, so we'll make sure that we've got that the right way around this time. The only other change in the backs is at 9, Bolt in for Chapman, and Forrester and Eves have swapped shirts in the centres. Up front, Rupert Harden's head injury allows Alex Gibson into tight head, James Scott and Tom Dodd the other changes. And as for Doncaster, with a few players still on the sidelines, Cameron Cowell is welcomed back into the starting lineup at 15. There's also a return for Tom Calladine, who skippers the side on his first start since early October. Elliot Creed at 13, he's a former man of this parish, and the evergreen Colin Quigley, a man who defies his years up front. Also Sam over there at 10, and Dowie spent a bit of time with his dad John at the coffee stand, so we'll hear more about that perhaps in due course. Let's have a look at the benches then. And it's a story of a couple of big boys, really. He's a day for Hartpury. He's been playing in the Premiership Shield with Bristol. He is quite the unit, and his fellow number 19, Lasha Lamidze, the Georgian, who will be looking to come on and make his impact. So that's how things are looking. And we've got a lovely guard of honour. They're being coerced into position. I was on duty down at Northampton Saints yesterday, doing a bit of pitch hosting down there, and they said, we've got the kids, do you want them to ask a question of the... We thought we'd let them ask a question of Francois van Veek before the game, and the coach said, don't let them do anything on camera.
You were in a cricket game last night, weren't you?
Yes, it was 111 for 3. Yeah, that was the scoreline.
Oh dear.
Yes.
I don't think many people learnt a great deal about that, did they?
17 tries for Northampton Saints. But there we are.
Well, if we get 17 tries today between the two sides, we'll have had a crack at. I don't think that's going to be the case, but I tell you what, it is going to be ferocious out there. Both sides are going to go for it. 2 big packs knocking 10 bells out of each other, but it's nice to see all the kiddies here. There's a pretty good crowd. The conditions are very good. Not a great deal of wind, and hopefully the rain will stay off, and definitely the snow to stay off. So fast and furious.
So just waiting for the two teams now, and we will have our game on. Of course, it is part of a double header this afternoon. We've got Gloucester Hartpury ladies against Saracens coming up on another live stream for you this afternoon. Nathan Middleton will be looking after that one alongside 51 capped Marley Packer, Rugby World Cup winner from 2014, of course. So it'll be great to get Marley's view of things and the breakdown, and we can see there the women getting themselves ready and going down for a bit of pre-match training. Getting ready early. We've got another couple of hours to go.
They're keen. They're going to have a warm down and another warm-up.
We think we're told there might be a bit of a development game going on beforehand, so maybe
here we go.
Maybe that's the state of it. But here come Doncaster Knights then, and the visitors ready to come out. Of course, 2 wins in their last 3 games. I say 2 wins in 3. That's one way of looking at it. They've had 2 wins and 2 losses in the last 4. So that's propaganda for you. But, but that's the way you look at it. And Clive Griffiths saying to us, it is about trying to look up the table and not allow fear to undo them this afternoon.
That's right. They didn't have a very good New Year's Eve party purely because they lost against Yorkshire just after Christmas on the 29th. Yorkshire performed very, very well, but equally I think they made up for it down at Coventry. They played a fantastic brand of rugby down there. Like I said, until this game changes, you need a good set piece. They were outstanding in the scrummage, outstanding in the line-outs, and Calladine, who's coming for Hills today, the captain, 2 crucial turnovers, very, very important. But they're firing on all cylinders. But like I said, Hartpury, who knows? They've got to give it a lash and give it a go.
So our referee for this one is Michael Hudson, assisted by Gareth Holsgrove and Simon Adams. And it is going to be Luke Cousins who waits to get things started. Of course, the duo from Rouen.
Yeah, my old mate Richard Hill, my old nemesis at 9, coaching over there. I think Hilly's been given another 5-year contract at Rouen. These guys, I think Cousins had 5 years. They obviously partnered Bolt, so they'll know each other inside out, and they'll need to today against this Doncaster side.
So Cousins gets the game started then for Hartpury, and well, straight into the arms of Quigley as they look to get going, Doncaster, and up to the 22. First job will be to clear the lines.
It's okay.
Tom James will have a look. Might have the option to his left of Ollie Steadman, but instead Steadman's going to give chase if it's needed.
And it's all about territory, it's all about structure. Tom James, they're getting this sort of extended, I'm not quite sure as you see, what you call it now, all the forwards get there to obviously stop a snake, yeah, we'll use a snake to get the ball further back so he's got more time to actually box kick so he doesn't get charged down. So they've exited pretty well, now they're going to put some pressure on the Hartpury line out, but that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's nicely down from the top and into the hands of Richard Bolt, and then straight up the middle they go. And they're going to want to try and keep on their front foot as much as possible in these early stages. Hartpury, we talked with John Barnes ahead of the game about what it's like to go 7 points down, and then those individual errors that have undone them over the course of the season. So they're going to look for the likes of Bolt and Cousins to keep things ticking over positively, right on that front foot. High kick on that occasion from Cousins. Sees Doncaster bring it in. They're going to believe in their big forwards though, the visitors. Quigley. Outside the 22 now, so no option to go straight to touch. Tom James joined last summer from Bedford. Left-footed. Inviting Mike Wilcox onto this. Wilcox,
great kick,
is decent enough in the air. He was put on his backside pretty aggressively, but coped with it well. And it's there for Bolt to get away. First option is to the skipper, Simon Linsell. And Linsell places it back. We're going to go quick again for Bolt, and then Cousins, who's certainly looking at the kicking game being a key part of the opening couple of minutes.
Well, statistically, Hartpury kick the ball 42% of the time, so I mean, it is how they play the game. They want to get the ball in front of their forwards, use the big ball carriers then, but again, they can be a little bit predictable. You saw then Sam Olver right up in his face, the face of Cousins, forcing him into that kick.
Tyson Lewis putting the pressure on for Doncaster, but Hartpury dealing with it. But
here you go again.
Kick has got to be decent enough to find a bit of space and put the pressure on, but that's just gone straight down the throat of Dougie Flockhart, who was well positioned to take that.
What a kick.
And that's going to work very nicely.
That was a beautiful banana kick. That wasn't misjudged off the side of his boot. That actually was meant.
Big smile on the face of Clive Griffiths there as well.
But he's, again, very experienced campaigner. I think he's in his 10th season now, a decade at Doncaster. Look at this, that's lovely. Just angling it into the corner.
For a moment suggested it might not go.
Well, it would have been even better actually if it hadn't gone into touch then, and obviously they would have given the throw in to themselves, but Hartpury now have got to come from their 22.
Option from Bolt. Again asking Flockhart to deal with it, which he does well. Back in for Cowell. Cowell plays it away, looks for the, well, accidental or deliberate bounce pass off the floor.
Deliberate.
We may see from the round 11 try-lights later where that proved beneficial for Bedford.
Have a look at Clive Griffiths' face to see whether that was meant or not, I would assure you. But look, I mean, Doncaster are a very, very good side. Like I said, they've got a lumpy pack, they're good at the set piece, but equally they've got Will of the West with Tyson Lewis out there on the left wing. But they like to move the ball, but they want to be a little bit cagey. They're not going to give Hartpury anything. I mean, I think talking to Clive before, they've analysed probably Hartpury better than anyone they said this season, because they know how important this game is. And it will start here, first scrum of the day. And that's experience in that front row, isn't it? Heaslip, Hunter, Quigley.
Up against Murphy, Tanner and Gibson.
No Rupert Harding, obviously.
Yes, fractured skull for Harding.
And wish him all the best. He's talking to Matt Colmel past, he said he's all right, but obviously can't play. There's some power coming through, but they do well, Hartpury.
So going away to that left-hand side. Hartpury through Ian Grieve, former Bristol man. That looks like a really decent turnover from Tom Calladine. First start since early October, and that's the sort of danger that back row can pose.
Mate, outstanding, Calladine there. He's taken the armband
from Linsell.
Yep. And just he did two crucial. He came on for Hills.
Oh, sorry, you mean?
Yeah. Last week. Sorry, he came on for Hills last week, and and two crucial turnovers against Coventry to stop Coventry obviously scoring tries. And equally, it's so important just to have all that experience, and that bravery, just to get over there. You've got to support your own weight, jackal the ball, and he's done that. It's a good shot.
But his nails done.
Is that a pug or a French bulldog? I don't know.
I'm going with French bulldog.
Okay.
But I didn't know they did manicures for French bulldogs at Hartpury. They do have a veterinary.
They do. Yes, they're a very established.
Equine, at least. Penalty Doncaster Knights. Hartpury pulling tacklers and players down in that one, says the referee. Tantamount to collapsing.
And again, that's what Donny are good at, just the catch and drive, the communication. Sam Olver, beautiful kick. What a kick. Nearly up to the 5 metre. And again, he's an experienced campaigner at his times with Northampton, Worcester. Sam actually had a loan spell when he was at Northampton with Doncaster Knights. And he just wants some game time. He manages the game very, very well. He's brave, but he just gets some of the big lads to do some of the ball carrying. This will be catch and drive, and I don't think the backs will be getting this for a bit. Hunter's in the van at the back.
Well, this looks like the first real opportunity for Doncaster Knights and their chance to ask questions of that Hartpury defence, but they're going to have to send it down the back line. And here come Doncaster through James and Olver. They floated it over the top, looking for Lewis to try and finish. Hartpury defence has done relatively well, and they're getting a penalty. Well, that will be very satisfying for the home side. And they dealt with the wide threat, having nullified the initial drive.
Yeah, I think they should have kept it in personally. I think they pulled the trigger a little bit too quick. Sam Olver over the top. It's Luke Eves. Is it coming in there with the tackle? No, Luke Eves is number 12. He's just coming in now over top of the ball. But again, not releasing from Tyson Lewis. Slightly isolated. Well done, Hartpury. Good scrambling defence. It was quite easy defence in the end, because again, you miss out a guy, everybody goes towards the ball.
Interesting that the referee interpreting there that he was holding on to that. I mean, Hartpury hadn't actually got a hand on the ball as such, had they? It was on the body of the man, but the referee deeming that was enough.
Yeah. Well, obviously the first contact when the guy went in, obviously he's deemed that. But yeah, he's the guy in charge.
Yeah.
It's one of those one of those things that annoy, obviously, the attacking side, and the defensive side would be delighted.
Well, if he's consistent and they know that they can get penalties from that, then so be it. Well, Lewis is under a bit of pressure here.
That's exactly the word. It's consistency.
Steadman with the carry. Coming back towards us is James. Tackle goes in from Bolt. Quigley.
Using the heavy artillery again, just trying to get position. Zigzagging up. Tom James looking to offload, he does that well.
Oh, now it's nicely through the hands, and they're trying to set Tyson Lewis away here, cutting back in field. Really good tackle from Richard Bolt, it needed to be. And then Dan Murphy straight in over the ball, trying to force a turnover, and I think he's got an exasperated look at his face as to why he didn't get it, or at least the penalty. But here come the Knights, through James again, out into the middle, looking for that ball over the top, which they find over on the far side, looking to work in those narrow channels as they manage to recycle, holding on to it. Steadman. Knock on advantage from Hartpury. So Doncaster Knights can continue to try and build this one. Tom James again. Got options left and right, goes right. Now then, that's...
No advantage.
Well, it's deemed no advantage from the referee, so we will have the scrum. Noticing that, Ollie Steadman's put the number 8 shirt on, hasn't he? So with the late change that there was, with Rory Pittman out, then Willie Ryan has stepped into the 6 shirt.
Absolutely, and I think Steadman played well, very well at Coventry. Big ball cat, as did Pittman, who didn't make it. He's picked up a slight injury problem, so big Welsh under-20s player who's not playing today. But crucial, like I said, it's the heavy artillery between the two 10-metre lines that almost dictates this player. Been on the pitch, it's a little bit heavy, but like I said, hopefully the rain will stay off. But again, it'll come down to these guys. These guys will always do the business.
Got an update from Jersey Reds there, as you can see on the bottom of your screen. 14 points to 8. They currently have the lead. That was a 2 o'clock kickoff against Bedford Blues, 4th against 3rd. Jersey Reds looking for their 3rd win in a row.
Bedford beating Ealing Trailfinders probably to put their promotion and Premiership dreams aside for a season or so, but we will see. They were good, Bedford.
Scrum is wheeling and collapsing, but they're trying to use that narrow side. Hasn't worked out for them, and it could work out for Jake Henry, who's giving chase. But Olver goes down on it. He's under plenty of pressure, and I think Hartpury might have managed to win that turnover. Indeed they have.
That's good refereeing. It's saying release the ball, keep the game moving.
Big carry from Gibson. The real battle at that breakdown in this one, and no mistake. Out the back door from Cousins. Forrester. Option of the short ball again, but they've looked to the corner. It's not the best kick. I'm not entirely sure that was the right strategy, Dowie.
No, it wasn't. Keep the ball. The first time you've come into the 20 or the 22 area, and you kick possession away, really. You could just recycle. It's almost going to be the last option. But again, at least they've got a good attacking opportunity here. Yeah, you see it over the top. It's just too much on it from Richard Bolt. Like I said, just keep it through the hands.
They had Murphy waiting as the option, didn't they?
I know. Look, I mean, but that's what happens when you're struggling to get some form or some consistency with your performances. You know, you force it. You force the pass. You force the kick.
Wanting the end result without the journey there.
Absolutely. So a good attacking opportunity has just gone awry. But again, Hartpury looking to put a little bit of pressure on James. Steadman at 8.
What John Barnes was saying before the game, so much of it seems to be about how Hartpury cope when they get scored against. So as long as they can keep themselves in this and make the most of positions in this area of the field, they'll be happy, but they've lost that penalty.
And that's a daunting sign for Hartpury. And you know, They could have just exited it quite easily, Doncaster, but they didn't. They wanted to put pressure on the Hartpury scrum, which they've done, so they bought a penalty. They'll get the throwing at the line out, but equally, in the referee's mind now, they're going, oh, this side is probably in the ascendancy when it comes to set piece, meaning that Hartpury haven't got anywhere to go. Long time to go, still 0-0. Like I said, Hartpury have to win this game, or get something out of it at least. There's Sam Olver dictating, that's what I like to see. Probably the smallest on the pitch telling the biggest on the pitch, you get down there, get me that ball, and give it me when I shout for it.
Can't imagine why you know anything about that.
Please, that's all he's going to put on at the end. Or buy him a pint later.
Yeah. Knights come infield. Quigley invites Hunter to say, aim for my belly and keep driving forwards.
That's a good play.
Which they do. Hunter takes an extra couple of yards and gets to ground. Then the pick up from Civetta. Tries to go round the corner. They've got the option to go back over to the far side. Straight through the middle is Steadman, and it can be so hard to stop. Gets a brief leg drive going. Referee gets in there and makes sure that the hands are away. Here come Doncaster again. Olver wanting to just switch it back against themselves through Elliot Creed, the former Hartpury man.
There's just no space. I mean, the Hartpury backs are doing very, very well, coming up at speed, so there's no space for any of the Doncaster carriers. I think they need to keep it probably a little bit more in the forwards.
Well, they've forced the error momentarily, or the loose ball, I should say. It's now fallen for Tyson Lewis. A few little knockdowns in there. The referee not too interested in any of them. And Lewis has done well with the support of his friends to make an extra 10 metres out of that one. Then it's Quigley. Gets the legs going.
They're all lined up now, so they've got forwards and backs together.
Yeah, certainly plenty of options for Olver to try and find out. He gets on the run around as Civetta takes the contact, but he couldn't get it back out of the hands to feed the young fly half. And then it's through Cowell, who's looking to try and set the platform. Hartpury not putting too many players into that breakdown. Flying back in again is Josh Tyrrell. Now they come back towards the near side. Quigley, lovely line from him, and then the offload for Steadman, and Steadman might go Route 1 all the way. It's going to be the game's opening score. And what a lovely offload from Colin Quigley. He's ended up staying down momentarily with the force of the hit upon him, but lovely combination between 3 and 8, and we have the game's first score.
It's easy, isn't it? It comes from an offload, and like you said, Colin Quigley is not only a scrummager, he's a very good carrier of the ball and offloader, and he's all-round good guy as well. But again, Steadman the recipient of that, but it was made by the prop tight head. Like I said, he's got up now, and it's easy. Just don't go into contact. Try and find a hole. You know someone's on your left, someone on your right. Wait for the call, and that's exactly what's happened.
Picked a lovely line, didn't he?
Yeah, and Hartpury were doing so well actually in slowing up Doncaster's ball, but on that occasion they think they were going to the right-hand side. They've come left, and the two big forwards have made a dint, and one of them scored. And this will be an easy 2 for Oliver Strait. Oh, it's not his Oliver, it's Flockard, I apologise. The kicking machine that is Flockard. That'll be easy 2 and a good start-ish for Doncaster.
Flockard started the game with his headgear on. I think he's just been giving it back. But he was just looking on that left shoulder immediately, wasn't he? But again, Quigley, but the defensive line just wasn't there.
You can see Olver, he's just got the ball, he semi-feints with the ball, drags one defender in. Quigley picks a great line, look at that. See, there's a gap there, it's 7. Akapusi and Guerra just misses the tackle.
Restart from Hartpury. Got to try and get their hands on the ball in this area of the field. Not had many opportunities to do so far. 16, nearly 17 minutes gone. Live Greene King IPA Championship Rugby.
Yeah.
Dowie Morris with us. And that will keep the ball in field. And Wilcox back into the middle. Ian Grieve is well met. Away from Bolt again, and then through Cousins. The halfbacks combining well. And then looking to try and get Luke Eves to punch a hole down that outside channel. Didn't quite open up for him. Good take from Cousins right on the bootstraps. And then Dan Murphy into Quigley. Generate a fair amount of energy when those two meet. Then we come again through Forrester. Out to the wider channels. Akapusi Guerra.
Better.
Saw him running in the cherry and whites for many years for Gloucester. Into the 22 now, and this is where Hartpury have got to be patient. Through Forrester again, and then Wilcox. Not the easiest pass, but what a take from Henry on the floor. But it did end up going forwards.
I mean, it's just that precision. They're doing so well. Luke Eves does well on the one side. The ball gets whipped right out across. That's great there from Cousins. You can see Bolt's hand was just held a little bit. That's where the ball, but actually when it's gone out to the likes of Jake Henry, it just breaks down, and that's unfortunately probably the story of the season. Apart from those 2 wins in round 1 and round 4, they've just struggled to get that consistency. And at this level now, Mark Cornwall said in his interview this week, this league gets harder and harder every year. He's noticed a dramatic increase in just the physicality. Not only the Premiership, we were talking about obviously injuries that Gloucester have had, and it's just the sustained battering that these guys take. And really, that's just bad skill. That's bad skill. That ball, there's no need for passing the ball onto his ankles. It needs to go across. Those guys will tell you.
I called it too early as Henry was just going to ground to take that. I was like, great. Oh
no, careful. Yeah, I know.
Just a momentary pause in the game.
But again, they do. They've lost a few players back to Gloucester. Obviously, they're the bigger clubs always will have first say on that. But hopefully, maybe in the sort of second half of the season, the likes of Bristol will be able to get a few players out. And there he goes, you see. It's Wilcock. There's no need to miss Eves out. So give it to Eves, or Eves gives it to Henry. And it's that force, because if any people will analyse this after, and I know Cornwall and Barnes will analyse that. What are you doing there? Yeah. Because all you do is take the time off yourself, and the defence just goes straight across, right across the field. It makes it easy for them. So
drift, job done.
Drift, exactly. Just use the ball, use your hands, use your men, and recycle the ball. Don't force it.
Mike Wilcox can cover at 9 as well, so he can certainly flick it off both wrists, but not his best work there. You can see Stedman.
But they're going again for a penalty, you see.
Pushing as hard as he can. Bucking at the back of that scrum to try and urge it forwards.
Well, they've come in with a game plan. Like I said, they've analysed it. They know the Hartpury kick a lot, but also they think, right, we can get a couple of pounds here, and we have the ascendancy of the scrum. So they're going to go all the time.
Good stability, boys. Really good.
Use it as a weapon, and a weapon it is.
Yeah.
I believe you've been to Japan for a week, haven't you, Mr. Scott Quinnell?
Thank you very much. Yes, SQ is excellent company.
Does he understand Japanese?
They certainly didn't understand him.
He has difficulty with English. I'm only joking, SQ. You know what? I love you. That's a great. It's one place I'd love to go, actually.
Yeah, we had a bit of fun.
Good.
Stay tuned.
You'll definitely have fun with Scott.
Stay tuned for footage to come.
Good.
But, we had a lovely time. Although after 4 nights of authentic Japanese cuisine, we were ready for a burger and chips. It was delicious, but we were the size of houses at the end, and SQ doesn't need to get any bigger.
No.
Penalty Doncaster in the meantime, and they're doing exactly what they want to do in that area, as Dowie Morris says. Colin Quigley's taken a knee a couple of times.
Yeah, but he's getting on. He's delighted. He's got another year's contract, he was telling me just before the game. But again, he's worth his weight in gold.
Yeah, he is. That's a lot of gold.
Tight head props, mate. You can't do it without a tight head prop. End of story.
Signed 4 years ago, brought back, of course, by Clive Griffiths. Colin Quigley, Scottish born. Applied his trade at Rotherham.
Yep.
London Scottish and Moseley too.
And learned his trade in Béziers, the Pro 2. I've mentioned that a couple of times. But again, there's no better place to go and learn if you want to become a tight head pro or a prop. Go to France. You soon learn.
Doncaster
or you don't.
Well, indeed. Start with the catch and drive once again. Halfway line. They're starting to just go around to that far side as well, just to give themselves option. Stedman has just arrived behind Tom James. And you can see Stedman there. He's not going to be the man to get it. Oh, that's a lovely offload, and then back in field comes Flockhart. Away again from James. Coming back towards us. Ball is a little loose out the back. Referee happy that it went backwards. Second time it didn't.
Just a few errors creeping in the game. That's good from James, though. I think I'd pretended to keep it in a little bit, but a beautiful offload. to Flockhart there, just taking the contact, coming back in field. If he stays out there, he's going to be pushed into chest. Just recycle the ball. Unfortunately, I think it's Tyrrell. It comes off initially, it goes back, and then there's a mistake happened. But it's just breaking down for both sides at the moment. Subs getting warm, keep themselves warm. You never know when you'll be called on. It's big Joey Sproston there with the coat on. You'll see him in the second half at about 60-minute mark.
My name's not Mark. Sorry, I can resist that.
Good ball. Referee's got a smile on his face. Tanner's not happy, he breaks up. Colin Quigley has a word. Nothing changes.
We're not going to have discussions about the mark. I told you what I wanted.
I'm having a chat with Richard Bolt as well.
It's just a different breed. Front row forwards. They'll be having a pint together afterwards.
My favourite part is when front rows historically sing to the referee about everything they got away with, forgetting that they're going to be ref by the same guy later in the season.
Exactly.
Stand at the bar over a pint, sing like a canary about everything that the referee didn't spot, and then he'll penalise you for it 2 months later.
Yep.
And the world keeps turning. 22 and a half minutes. I'll clock a best estimation. We'll be on the referee's watch and whistle come half time.
So the referee's just having a chat here, because what teams do, front rows do sometimes to buy a penalty. Obviously, when you go sit in and lock like that, they actually just don't put any weight in. So when the other team comes in, they push early. Basically, it's trying to con the referee into say, oh, they pushed early, ref. The dark arts.
Indeed. Referee Michael Hudson will be doing his best not to be conned. Hartpury hold well initially on their own ball. They'll need to be able to do that for the full 80. Away through Cousins, and then it's Eves. Cutting back in is Forrester, and Forrester with the break now, needs support on the shoulder. Oh, and he tries to get it away to Henry. Was he taken early? Referee's got the arm out, and this could be a yellow card, and it will be. Dougie Flockhart has been given the yellow card for the early take on Jake Henry.
Yeah.
And you have to say it's the right call from the referee.
It's Forrester, isn't it? I think it's Creed that slips the pass. But it's not. It is Flockhart. James is in there. He's come across. He's made contact. And you've got to say, if he hadn't been there, they'd have taken that ball. And who knows? But now Hartpury have to score. They have to make Doncaster play down to 14 guys for 10 minutes. They have to take this advantage. Gone into the corner. The right decision. Tanner's darts now has to be correct. Murphy goes up to have a word. Everything has to move and run like clockwork. Phase 1, 2 done. Akipusi and Gera, they go for a front bail.
Well, it was Gibson with the runaround, but they were still well marked. Doncaster had all their men in place, and Quigley's in there trying to force the turnover. Hartpury need to turn this into a score. Hislop offside from the Knights. Willie Ryan's got his body under that. They said there's a new advantage against Ryan not rolling away. Well, I think he's still playing the advantage from Hislop still being offside.
He is, Nick. But again, I think Doncaster are going to be a little bit careful here. They could be down to 13 guys, because Willie Ryan actually did kill that ball. Then he did the old, oh, sorry, ref, I'm on the wrong side. They'll go into the corner and they'll try set 2 now. But they said they've got to score. They've got to take these opportunities. It's correct decision to yellow card Flockhart. Correct decision to go into the corner. Now don't panic. Get your communication right. Good sensible call. 2 ball there. Everything's set. They should go over from here.
Tanner with it, having taken it. And they're all adding their weight. Luke Eves gets in there as well. Now they get to Beale. So close to the line. But are they over it? Referee says they're short. They've got to recycle it again, but they do get the try, Hartpury. And a reward for the effort.
I think
it might be Akipusi and Gera, the man to do it. If you need a man to burrow over from close range, he's not a bad candidate.
Cheers, guys.
Well, in his heyday, he'd be sort of roaming on the outsides, using his great pace and hands. When needs must, you got to get in there. And the big Fijian very experienced. His time at sort of Montpellier, Gloucester, obviously 140 odd appearances, just gets over there. That's a tremendous tackle from Caladine initially, and Akabusi Ngeri gets the weight behind him, positions himself superbly well.
Drives Willie Ryan right off it.
Yeah, Willie Ryan nowhere to be seen, and again it's the right response from Hartpury, Mark Cornwall. John Barnes will be delighted with that. Doncaster going down to 14 guys. They could have gone down to 13, actually gone down to 14 guys. Make them pay, and they have.
Gareth, just keep him quiet.
Conversion effort from Cousins. Oh, might just curl in. Beautiful.
What a kick. Like I said, coming into this game, they need almost everything to go the right way, and that kick was struck superbly well. The try taken superbly well by Akabusi Ngeri. He's there at the bottom. And a good response. Even Stevens, 7-all.
There we are. Over 4 minutes left on that yellow card. So Hartpury should do all they can to try and exploit where Flockhart is missing. If I was Jake Henry, I would be screaming for that ball as often as possible. See how Elliot Creed can cope with having to defend two channels.
There's Flockhart. He couldn't really do anything, to be honest. It wasn't malicious, whatever, but again, he made contact to a ball that probably would have been taken by a Hartpury player. So yeah,
he was close enough. He might have let him catch it and then make the tackle. It was, but instinct at that stage. You're going to make the hit as soon as you get the chance.
On now, yeah.
He timed it just a little bit wrong. Well taken down by Tyson Lewis, who's going to get in field and laterally starts to get going. Referee is not too interested in certainly the block that Dowie Morris spotted fairly cleanly. Another little moment of the soft hands from Olver, but good drive back in the tackle from Hartpury. And Doncaster will reload and come again through Tyrrell. Options left and right. Olver to the left, Quigley next to him. Go around him and find Civetta. Civetta pirouettes through, gets a lovely offload away to Hislop. And it's there for James again. Back through the middle, good continuity here from Doncaster. That was a little cheeky extra roll where Hartpury might have looked to get that turnover. Stedman, two to stop him.
Some refs will ping that as well, but he got away with it.
Oh, that's a lovely little delay of the pass then from 9 that time, but the tackle is good and the ball goes forwards. Well picked up by Forrester. They've got some line clearing to do now, Hartpury, and Cousins is well positioned, seeing it coming, charge down, no advantage coming. We will come back for the scrum. Goodness me.
Yeah, Jake Henry, I think, stopping a certain try there. Josh Tyrrell, who had an outstanding game last week, and that win against Coventry, started by Tyson Lewis. And you just watch this. There's a little block there from Stedman. He holds his hands up, ref. You got to see that. I'm sorry. It's one of those, you do try it, and if you get away with it, you get away, but he should not have been allowed to. But Tyson Lewis making the most of that. They've got themselves down in the corner, but like I said, Jake Henry just getting in the way of Tyrrell. It's a lovely little delayed pass from James, wasn't it, through the gap. They're getting these guys right through the gap. There's Stedman there making good yardage. Here they go, they clear the ball. Tom James, just wait. And it's a little cherry ball out the back to Richard List. Back from injury, that's good there. And all of a sudden, Jake Henry coming in, smashing down Josh Tyrrell. And like I said, stopping a certain score there.
Lovely delay of that pass.
You just see how important, these big forwards are, not only from the scrummaging point of view. We've seen Quigley popping the ball for Stedman's try. Equally, List can do it. The modern day prop forwards, they have to be able to clear a scrum, do your bread and butter, but also see a gap and get through it.
There's been plenty in the loose for them to pick up as well, hasn't there?
Yeah. There'll be a lot of pressure coming in from Doncaster now.
Oh, free kick Hartpury, early engaged from the visitors.
Moving back. 2, 3.
Oh, in fact, the referee said that the two front rows are moving back.
I.e., they're buying a penalty there, ref. Oh, the boys in red are pushing too early. Look.
Mrs. Hislop and Quigley for the defence.
Oh dear.
That's well kept in field by Cameron Cowell. Hoisted up. Cousins is striding in to take this one at full tilt, which he does. And then away for Wilcox, who likes a counter-attack run, and it's not a bad strategy if that one skips on down to the right-hand side.
That's a good play. There are bigger holes, obviously, with Flock being off the pitch. They've got to manage their players a little bit more. There always is going to be gaps, but they identified that one superbly well.
Everyone's settled in here.
Knowledgeable crowd.
Yeah,
they were giving me a little bit of advice coming up to Coventry, as you could imagine.
That's all right. Thank you.
Was it the one-fingered advice you had?
No.
Drive on by Doncaster Knights. Half hour gone. 7 points apiece. Turnover for Hartpury. It's just the sense of a momentum shift which John Barnes will be very keen to employ.
And coming up before half-time now, a great time to score. They're still down, we're just about down to 14. They want to form up pretty quickly. Quigley and Liss won't want to do that. But again, if they could nick something now, just before half-time, they'd go in a happier team. It was interesting when we came down a bunch of hours before, an hour and a half before we were in doing our notes, our incredible efficient notes, and they were already laying down the law, weren't they? We just eavesdropping a conversation or two from the team room, and
it was all look them eye to eye stuff, wasn't it?
They were starting to stamp the floor with about an hour and a half to go. So yeah,
we talk about Scott Quinnell.
Yeah, well, you know how important it is for this side. They're a proud bunch down here. Great setup, great story, but they've just got to start winning.
Away from Bolt, Cousins looks for that long pass. They're looking to exploit the gaps that there are in that back line. Wilcox just had to check himself for a moment, but that's good strength from Henry. Now it's away, running onto it at full pace. Ian Grieve got a hold onto it now here, Hartpury. Cousins through to the front row again.
Got to go right.
Alex Gibson, then it's Cousins again. Option is Tanner. They've gone for the kick over the top.
Oh.
Well, Dowie Morris perhaps summarising the thoughts there, and actually just out of your picture, Luke Cousins puts his head on his hands and he's the one that opted for the kick.
Look, they do well. Jake Henry, again, his first season here, he's had 2 seasons at Rotherham. That's superb play from the big winger. He just uses his body, uses his strength, comes inside, doesn't die with the ball, and now you've got men out wide. So take the contact. Greaves does superbly well. That is regurgitated. The ball comes back, and then what you do, your 10 just kicks the ball away. We've seen a 9 do it, Bolt's done it, and now Cousins has done it. You're getting in the positions, but you're not making those right decisions. So from 9 and 10, when you're struggling aside, you have to be right almost all the time, and there were 2 bad decisions. And I'm sure Mr. Cornwall and Mr. Barnes will be saying exactly the same in the dugout.
I agree.
In the changing rooms at half-time. Come on, lads, be sensible.
Yeah.
If you're not going to make it the first time, don't panic, recycle.
Phase.
Yeah.
Doncaster get the defensive line out spot on. Use Steadman again.
Well, Hunter's just superb with his darts, so you know they don't lose many all season, so don't overcomplicate it. So you've just basically given an out for Doncaster. You know, they're down there, they'll form the stake now. James off his left foot will box this up, he'll probably go to touch. They'll take the clock down, they'll run it up about 15 metres or so, and job done. There you go.
So Flockhart ready to return.
Go through Simon, please. Yeah. That's all right, we've got the time. Yeah, bring one. So you stay on the line, please.
Back up to the full compliments, but Hartpury had got that try. They had got themselves in, again, scoring positions, but like I said, I'm not going to overdo it, but they've got to be better than that.
A little bit of inventive stuff around the line out, trying to send Richard Bolt through, scurrying under the big men. Now they're picking and going around the fringes in the middle of the park.
Well, JP Brasilia in the game I did for Sky just after Christmas scored, they call it ambush, a try from the line out.
Wilcox onto Henry. Henry full of belief with his last break down that left wing channel. And Cousins Decent pass right into the middle of the field for Gibson. Ball's a little slower this time for Bolt. Back in for Wilcox, who's popped up at first receiver. 2 to bring him down. Forrester comes in to provide the cover. Then it's away. Oh, it was a little tricky take, but it went backwards, and then the long pass off the left hand from Will Tanner, and trying to find a little bit of room. Good tackle from Tyson Lewis as Ian Grieve tried to get onto the ball, and in doing so has just forced the error. But in fact the pass went forward.
But again, if you do these big passes, yes, sometimes you do expose a little bit of space, but also you can actually put a big red dot on the player receiving that ball, and Hunter did that with Tanner. It was hooker and hooker, and equally Tyson Lewis smashing in there, and you take one in the mid-ribs. Your instant body action is to drop the ball, and it's just turned the ball over. So I just keep it simple. My message to Hartpury would, look, you've got field position, you're winning, slightly under pressure in the scrum. I'll give you, you're going to give Doncaster that, but actually you're regurgitating the ball, you're getting the ball out. Just control matters. Don't go for that $1 million pass or kick out of hand. Just go through the process.
Voice of Dowie Morris here with us for this Greene King IPA Championship Round 12 clash. Hope you're enjoying our coverage, whether you're tuning in via the England Rugby Facebook page, YouTube or championshiprugby.co.uk. And we are part of a double header this afternoon as well. Gloucester Hartpury women taking on Saracens women in the Tyrrell's Premier 15s is also a live stream from this ground coming up at 4:30 that game. Free kick Doncaster, option to take it, and they want to keep the tempo up. Tom James, quick ball away for Olver, who spotted a little bit of empty field, and it's encouraging Wilcox to come forwards. Right-footed, sends it straight down the same channel where Olver's waiting for it. Olver points to the sky and wants to send Cameron Cowell, but in fact he's dummied that and gone on a run and looks to put Tyson Lewis away, and this might work for Doncaster. Oh, it's brilliant from the visitors, back in field again, and it's going to be the finish from Tom James, and what a score, and brilliantly started from Olver, and try number 2 is an absolute worldie from Doncaster Knights.
Well, if you're a betting man, you think with the sort of territory, Hartpury would have been the team to score, but again, you're right, Sam Olver there putting a dainty little kick in initially, which forced Hartpury to kick back. The chase is good. One dummy inside to Tyson Lewis. The ever-present Hunter inside. He's got great hands as well, and Tom James is any good 9. It's just following up, waiting for people to make that decision in front whether to pass, and that is easy. It's too easy, really, for Doncaster Knights. But again, it's made from the 10 just doing the correct things. Don't mess around with the ball. Kick it to them. They're going to kick it back. One little bit of dummy, and all of a sudden expose some space on that left-hand side. Try.
Yeah. Almost feel sorry for Cameron Cowell, who thought he had a high ball to chase, but he wasn't involved at all.
Indeed.
It was lovely work from Olver.
Cam Cowell, he can move. He's a 7 specialist. If he gets the ball, even in this sort of sticky little bit of a pitch that it is today, but he has got some great wheels.
A little look to dummy that high ball.
Great kick.
Another great 2 from Flockhart.
And this is it. You're thinking, oh, there's the little signal up there. Woomph. 2 Hartpury players. Wilcott, one of them that buys it. Again, he sets in another 2. Tyson Lewis covers just very, very well. Bolt just brings him down, but again, he's got his arms free. The ball is going to be offload. Hunter knows that, and James, and it could have been Civetta to score as well. And like I said, it took the eye off the prize, really, a bit. Hartpury there just being conned into think that Olver was going to kick the ball long. Well, don't do it. Plenty to talk about for Hartpury at half-time.
Score update for you. Ealing Trailfinders a try up against London Scottish. That the one of the 3 o'clock games.
20. Half-time, 20 seconds.
Can hear the referee there say half-time, 20 seconds. Good show of the tangerine underwear on show from Doncaster Knights there. Tom James gets it away for Quigley.
Well, the backs won't be having this until the referee says full time, and then I think James will just hoof this, or it'll be Olver. There you go.
And indeed, that will be that for the first half. Well, we've been treated to some lovely rugby and some nice talking points as well. Of course, we had Flockhart's a yellow card. He's also got 4 points to the boot as well. The game's opening score from Ollie Steadman on a lovely line off Colin Quigley. Akapusi and Kera burrowing over for Hartpury's score, and then Tom James finishing off a superb effort started by his half-back partner Sam Olver. Gives us a half-time score in round 12 here at Hartpury of Hartpury RFC 7, Doncaster Knights 14. Darry Morris, your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, you have to say probably Doncaster are good for their lead. Hartpury have had their chances. I'll go back to those two that they kicked away. One from, both from the halfbacks, Bolt and Cousins, just kicking good possession away when you're deep inside the opposition 22. Again, like I said, there's plenty to talk about. They've had good possession. You've got to say Doncaster's scrum is on top. They put in they've got the sign in there a little bit. Lineouts are going 50-50, but I think the experience of Doncaster Knights is showing through.
All right, well, if you're just joining our coverage, or if you've enjoyed the whole first half, let's have a look back then at some of those key moments.
Yeah, and Sam Olver, just again, he's enticing people onto him, and Colin Quigley, both props are actually come to the fore in both of these tries. The tight head there, just holding the ball up and finding the gap for the tight head, put Steadman in, and you ain't stopping that bloke from that range. You can see it was too easy really from Hartpury, who did so well initially to start with slowing Doncaster's ball down. But again, when you have forwards cutting lines like that, it makes it easy for a 10 to give them the ball.
Yeah, it was a really nice line from Quigley to then be able to set up Steadman. And then, well, Hartpury thought they'd scored initially, but then it needed Akapusi and Garrett to just give them the final little nudge over the line.
That's right. You've got Jake Henry does very well to start to set this up, but obviously Flockhart is out, so they're down to 14 guys. They think they score there initially. Akapusi and Garrett says, no, just give me the ball. He gets some weight behind him, and that's exactly what they wanted. A response from there, and this I think was a super try. John Olver, his father, just been speaking to him at the start of the game. Sam Olver had kicked the ball initially. He received the ball. He signalled for him to put the ball up in the air. He didn't. He's just dummied. Hartpury have basically taken that. You can just see here. Watch him now. Takes the ball. One little step out to the flyer, Tyson Lewis. Again, don't die with the ball. Put it back inside to hooker. The Hunter does superbly well. And James is any good 9, like I said before, when I didn't see it the first time in commentary, just the recipient of a good, well-worked try.
Brilliant stuff. Well, that is how Doncaster have the lead at half-time by 14 points to 7. And there's another little look. I just love the look on the dummy.
It was that good. He said, we'll see it 3 times. No, it is good because they bought it. And again,
good take from Hunter as well. He got a little low bend in to take that ball.
When you're struggling as a side Hartpury, you almost want everything to go your way. Don't get duped into stupid little tries like that, and it's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're all set here with, what should be an entertaining second half to come. Doncaster up by 2 tries to 1. Plenty to play for Hartpury. They'll be pleased to be on the score sheet as well, as we've said. But this is round 12. Round 11 had a few special tries that went in as well. Let's have a look at the round 11 Greene King IPA Championship try lights. So those are the round 11 try lights, and the vote went out, and I think Dean Adamson, the rightful winner there for Bedford Blues, with 38% of the vote. Dan, will you agree with that one?
I do, yes. I mean, that was a good win for them as a whole, beating Ealing there, and they just stuck to their guns, and they've done well. They've done well. Ice Ray, I think, has progressed into the forwards coaching there, and he's done superbly well, so it was a good result for them.
So latest scores, I should say, going around the grounds. Nottingham, of course, that was last night's result against London Irish. London Irish opening up up a 14-point gap at the top of the table going into today. Jersey Reds 14 points to 8 up against Bedford Blues. There, of course, is our half-time score in this game. Coventry 0, Cornish Pirates 0. And there's an update going in on Ealing Trailfinders against London Scottish. Scottish have gone 2 tries up there, 14 points to 5. So that is definitely one worth keeping an eye on. Richmond 3, Yorkshire Carnegie 0. That is the 10th against 11th battle. We were talking ahead of the game here at Hartpury, of course, about how these 4 teams that are at the bottom are in a real dogfight, and we've just heard news that Jersey Reds, in fact, have just got another one. So they're up to 19, and Harvey Biljon is beginning to enjoy things there, stringing a few results together.
Well, he certainly is. They beat London Irish, any team to beat them this year. They went down to Bristol last year and beat Bristol down there. So, mate, they're a very, very good side. They've got big forwards, and you do need big forwards to survive in this league, but they've also got some great skills behind. So Harvey Biljon doing a superb job. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, well, we are part of a doubleheader this afternoon. We've got Tyrrell's Premier 15s action coming up for you a little bit later. That'll be available on premier15s.com and on the England Rugby Facebook page as well. And Nathan Middleton will be our commentator for that one, and he will be with the wonderful 2014 Women's Rugby World Cup winner Marley Packer, 51 caps for England, an absolute warrior, and the two of them are previewing the game now. And guys, over to you.
Yes, good afternoon. We're pitch side here, building up to the second offering in front of the England Rugby cameras today. Of course, it's Greene King IPA Championship action now. Tyrrell's Premier 15s action from just before 4:30 this afternoon. A real cracker of a game as well. Champion Saracens against Gloucester Hartpury. Women sitting just outside the playoffs. Unfortunately, this afternoon, Marley Packer, you are not playing. Everything well, though? Just a slight niggle, isn't it, today?
Yeah, just a slight niggle. So just thought I'd come down here, watch. I think it's going to be a real exciting game for both teams.
Obviously, you were player of the match in that last game against Harlequins Ladies. A fantastic comeback. What's it been around like the squad this week? Everyone must have been bouncing after that comeback.
Yeah, I think so. I think that we all knew that we had to put performance in, and it came in the last 10 minutes. So around the squad in training this week, it's just making sure we keep going with that.
And in terms of facing Gloucester Hartpury women, you've faced them a lot because you played them in the semi-final playoffs last season. What are they like as a team when you played them?
They're solid up front, and their backline tremendous, and I think that's the thing that we need to be careful of today, is that backline that they've got out there.
And there is, you mentioned there is so many tries, the likes of Kelly Smith. You'll have trained with her a lot with the Red Roses. Just how clinical is she? Is she is it her feet, is her pace? What makes her different?
I think it's her footwork, and then her turn of pace, and then just her try scoring ability, really. She don't give up on anything, so yeah, no, should be good to watch today.
So Marley Packer and myself, Nathan Middleton, from just before 4:30, about 4:20 we'll get going this afternoon on premier15s.com, as well as the England Rugby YouTube and Facebook pages.
Well, thank you, Nathan. We are really looking forward to that one. Great to have Marley alongside you as well. She certainly knows her stuff on and off the field. It is part, of course, of the Red Roses squads. They were given full-time contracts this season, of course, famously the first 15 side in the world to become fully professional. So great news for the women's game, and they are in action, of course, over the course of the Six Nations. Let's have a little look and see how they are building up to things.
You know about me, 'cause I bring my game. You can't hold me back, it's driving you insane. Train, sleep, repeat, let's go for the rest of my life.
Indeed, by tickets today, even, I should say. EnglandRugby.com/tickets if you want to get your hands on them. And as you can see, those Six Nations games against France up at Castle Park in Doncaster on the 10th of February, 12:45 kickoff. Get yourself along. We are basically looking to chase the way the French do it, regionalise those games, get along to those matches, and make a real racket in support of England's Red Roses in their home games. That Doncaster game should be an absolute belter. It is their first game up against arguably one of the world's best sides. France, of course, beating New Zealand in November, so that is going to be a tough old start for Simon Middleton's ladies, but they'll be hoping that they can do the job. Other tickets that you can buy over the course of the next little while. The Clash is a Gallagher Premiership match at Twickenham Twickenham. Bristol Bears against Bath. Saturday the 6th of April, a 2 o'clock start for that one. That's Bristol against Bath. Then we're into the Tyrrell's Premier 15s. The final of that one will be taking place on Saturday the 27th of April, a 5:45 kickoff at Franklin's Gardens. As I said, englandrugby.com/tickets to get along to any of those. And as for our coverage and our live streams, well, plenty more for you to look forward to. At the end of this month, we've got Wasps against Harlequins, a huge game in the Tyrrell's Premier 15s. And then following that, we're dipping into some Schools Cup action. That is in the month of March. On the 9th, we have the Under-18 Schools Cup semis and the Under-15 Schools Cup semis on the 10th, Saturday, Sunday on those. And then on the 19th and 21st of March, Under-15s and Under-18 Schools Cup plate and bowl finals. Those are at Sixways. And then we're into the Schools Cup and Vase finals at Twickenham. And then Saturday, March the 30th, Harlequins against Gloucester Hartpury Women Premier 15s action. Then we've got both semi-finals live, of course. Tyrrell's Premier 15s, April the 13th and 14th. Join myself and Nathan Middleton over that weekend as we bring you the latest on who will meet in that final. And then looking all the way forward to May. Pop it in your diary, why don't you? Under-18 Club, Under-15 and Under-18 Girls Club finals at Sixways Stadium, and the RFU Club and Under-20s finals day at Twickenham Stadium.
And now breathe.
I think that's got everything covered, hasn't it, Darren?
I think so. Just do that again.
Just having a little look over my shoulder to see if the teams have come out. The replacements are certainly wandering their way out, so I imagine they won't be too far behind.
Yep.
John Barnes talked at the start of our coverage about how important it was that if Hartpury were to go down a 7-pointer, that they don't panic, that they don't force things. We have seen a little bit of them forcing things. It really is about just having that composure, isn't it?
It's doing the simple things well. It's just holding on the ball. I know it's all these cliches, but it is. You had 2 opportunities in that first half, and the halfbacks kicked the ball away. It's almost the last thing you do, really, when you're struggling to get any consistency with your performances throughout the season. Giving ball away, and it's too easy, because one thing Doncaster have, they've got a good set piece so they can exit quite easily. So my message would be, look, have a go. You've got to have a go to win this game. You know, they scored a try, they came back with the Akipusi Angera try, so they did respond to that, and equally right at the end they should have closed that game off. Don't give Doncaster anything. What do? They just bought the old dummy from Olver, kicks it, and they're another 7 points down. So it's easy for us to say, but actually the message will be going to change room. Look, just don't cut out these problematic areas and take your opportunities when they arise.
Yeah, and for those of you just joining us, of course, Richmond and Yorkshire Carnegie, who are doing battle 10th against 11th, it means that if Hartpury want to get themselves off the bottom of the table with this elusive third victory in the campaign this season, well, there's an opportunity when one of those two teams above is going to take out the other to really, create that concertina effect and drag themselves out of that place.
Absolutely, and you can blame injuries, whatever, but every side has injuries. Look, it's up to the 15 guys or the 22 guys in the squad, the coaches, to get themselves out of this mess. They've got Pirates away, they've got Coventry away, 2 hard games after this is Hartpury's fixtures. Then they've got Richmond at home, so I think they'll be targeting Richmond, irrespective of what happens with the Richmond-Yorkshire result. They've just got to start winning, but they're capable of doing that. We've seen they can put pressure. You can see they can put pressure on Doncaster, but they've got to keep doing it for 40 minutes, almost play the perfect game for 40 minutes.
Richmond 12 at Yorkshire Carnegie 0 is an update from that 10th against 11th game as well, and we will do our best to try and keep you updated with the rest of the scores over the course of the afternoon.
And look, you've got Chris Sterling at Yorkshire Carnegie. They had 1 win out of 9, didn't they, in the first 10 league games. There's John Barnes in the left, you can see, head down, but they've had to go almost to New Zealand to recruit quite a few players. They didn't want to go as early as this, but they found themselves in a predicament, so they've pulled, they've flicked the switch in that sense. John Barnes will be thinking, have I said the right things to my players? But look, his job is done now. He's got to just say and back his players. They've got to go on. They win this game by point. If they win this game by a point, it'll give them something to go for the next games.
You can keep up with all the latest in the Greene King IPA Championship on the Twitter feed. It's at Champ Rugby, and we are very fortunate, of course, to have the Champo's biggest fan alongside us this afternoon in Dowie Morris, who was very kind to stop off on his way down and pick up some spa water for us.
Indeed, it's very nice water.
Thank you for that.
I don't normally buy water, but
I'm not going to get you started.
The prices of water these days are ridiculous. Anyway, yes, it's.
The policemen are getting younger every day, aren't they?
But it's a good farming community down here. Farming spirit. There's a little bit of a ratter there. You can just see.
Russell.
Oh yeah. I'll be having them later.
Yeah, look at him. He's looking already.
Yeah.
And where can I have him?
God, they're fantastic little things. Well, we've seen a French bulldog. We've got a terrier of some sort.
Yeah.
I think Adrian's just going to get us. Here we go. There you go.
Yeah.
That is a French bulldog, isn't it?
Looks like Brian Moore as well.
Oh, you're very you're very brave. He's had his teeth then. He looks the picture of beauty.
Yeah, I'm sure. He set up a pedicure salon as well.
He did, yes. I didn't think that went very well, but anyway.
Less said about that, the better. We're hoping we'll have some rugby to talk about.
We will. Well, there's Matt Gilbert's barista coffee machine. He's doing fantastic business there. He's the travelling barista. I'm sure you will see him at some stage. Matt Gilbert, he's on the bench, but I think they're taking well, that's more than 15 minutes. I think they're only allowed 15. I don't know whether they're on the clock. It's up to Michael Hudson, the referee. I could have had a pie by now.
Yeah, well, indeed, I'm sure. Well, perhaps while we've got the Premier 15s coverage for you coming later, we can hear from the England captain Sarah Hunter, who has been talking ahead of the Red Roses campaign. So while we wait for the teams, let's hear a little bit more from her.
I think when I first got capped as an England player, I don't think I ever imagined this day would come in my time anyway, but obviously the investment and the acceleration of women's sport and the support that the RFU are giving women's rugby has just been sort of phenomenal over the last few years. So yeah, it's a pretty special moment. This is a significant step, not just for us now, but for players of the future, you know, these 6-7-year-olds that are playing rugby for the first time and really enjoying it, or people coming through the pathway and going, actually, I can now do this for a living. I can have my dream job as a rugby player and get paid to do it and not have to worry about anything else, which I think is just such an amazing thing to be able to say.
Well, lovely to hear from Sarah Hunter, such a great ambassador for the women's game.
Great ambassador and great timing as well.
Yeah.
Just as the players have come out, they've had 2 brews.
We prepped Sarah for that. She knew exactly when to finish, so that we could continue with our Greene King IPA Championship game. And players have finally finished their second cuppa. It must have been the option for them. Ealing have bitten back against London Scotches. 12-14 now it is at Vallis Way.
Yeah. They've kept the race going, really, haven't they, Ealing Train Friends? Apart from that loss then at Bedford. Bedford deserved that. I think they were outstanding. But again, they sort of put the heat on London Irish for most of the season, but they've just pulled away, and they've obviously got Ealing at home. London Irish is his Jersey at home. So they're home and hosed, back up in the Premiership. Good luck to them. Sam Oliver kicks us off as he kicked almost into that sort of lead just before half-time, didn't he, with that sort of dummy kick. Well, he kicked it initially first, then the dummy kicked it very, very well. And now he's done the right thing. Hartpury are trying to get some sort of consistency into this game. But like I said, they do kick the ball a lot.
To try and send the option away to the far side, but look at this from Oliver. He's picking up in the second half exactly where he finished the first. He knows he needs to look for support as he approaches the line.
Brilliant.
And there's the score. Civetta straight over and through. And Doncaster Knights have bounced into the second half. Goodness me, what a start.
Well, Clive Griffiths couldn't wait in front of it. Look, you know you're going to kick the ball. You do 42% of the time. There is no problem with that. But your kick is only as good as your chase. Well, there is no chase there. Oliver does superbly well. He's got a great little step there. And he just holds on to the ball. He goes round. Wilcox gets him down eventually, but he puts the ball, presents it well. The big American second row international. You ain't going to score many easier than that. Doncaster as a team aren't going to score many easier than that. Well done, Oliver. He created one just before half-time. He's created one just after half-time. What a start.
What danger, Dowie, now of head drop time for Hartpury?
Well, it's exactly what Hartpury didn't want. This is far too easy. There's holes all over the place, like you said. People are jumping out initially for that challenge on the up and under. Just wait your time. Don't give the holes. Don't give anyone a chance to get through. That's just passive defence. Just too passive.
There's nobody there, was there? Knock on from the restart. We'll at least give Hartpury the scrum.
Well, it's 14 easy points in the sense that they could have quite easily not,
had a line there.
With just a line, a bit of communication, and just say, right, it's a minute to go before half-time. We're not going to do anything. Stop it. They leak 7. Minute after half-time, they leak 7. Oh dear. And it just lifts the side in white, and now what I'd want to see if I'm a coach or a supporter of Hartpury, I want my side to react. That's good stepping from Oliver. He absorbs the tackle from Wilcock, and look, there's no one there, the guards aren't there. That's what happens when you breach a defensive line so quickly and present the ball so quickly. Quick ball again, fast quick ball.
Hartpury needed to get a decent shove on that. The pass was nearly not quite right for Ben Foley, but he did well to hold on to it. Doncaster getting such a shove back on that Hartpury scrum. He needed to use it quickly, but they did through Bolt, and then he combines again with Cousins. Goes a little flatter that time to try and set up the platform and get there quicker. Cousins again, then coming through Eves. Eves bounces off Olver. It's there again for Bolt, back into Cousins. Henry arrives, lovely line from the winger. His physicality is proving to be a problem for Doncaster when he can get into the right areas and catch people on their inside shoulder. He spotted a gap around the corner of that ruck, didn't quite get through. But it was last-ditch defence from Doncaster there.
Well,
James Scott just having a trouble to get the ball back, but here's Henry again, goes around his own man.
Well, I was just going to say, Nick, I think he was their best performer in the first half. He's just an educated carrier of the ball. He's obviously got quick, he's a big lad, he knows what to do.
Now we have a penalty advantage coming to Hartpury. Cousins reaches high for it. Nearly has a little gap that opens up for himself, looks to try and get the offload away. Doncaster come through, we will come back for the penalty. Decision time here, trailing by 14. Do you go 3 or do you go corner?
It's a very good call. I would go 3 personally. I would get 3 down there, come straight back up, and only the 14 points is going to go into the corner. But you've got to make sure that they get the 7 then, or at least the 5. This for me is almost the game. No, I know we're right into the start of the second half, but you've got to make that decision. Almost everything's got to go right for these guys in red now.
I mean, they will feel fairly confident. They did get it right first half.
Well, this is it. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think one thing they want to see, Colin Quigley's going off here. His day is done. Like you said, a good experienced guy, and a big one's coming on. Joe Sproston. On he comes. He did start as number 8. He's played a bit of rugby league. Big unit.
4 tries last season.
Yeah.
Mr. Sproston. Decent game quickly.
It's the pace. It's a different game. When Harry Randall, it's going back to Harry Randall, obviously England in the 20s. And now playing with Bristol, it was the speed that he used to get a ball from that ruck, but they won't be getting any ball from this ruck as the backs join in with the forwards. They've got to score.
It's in the hands of Tanner.
Got to get in there, Forrester.
You could see Bolt encouraging his backs to try and get in and add something to it. Got to be careful they don't slip the bind there as they come around that far side and look to get over the line. The risk of going for 7 has paid off, and they'll narrow the gap to the half-time deficit with the conversion.
I think it was Grieve, was it?
Yeah,
or was
Ian Grieve, the scorer.
Well, again, it is the correct decision. It would have been the wrong decision if he didn't score. All the back, well, not say all the backs, the majority of the backs are in there. Forrester lends his weight. Tanner's on the side. He comes round, and Ian Grieve with all that experience. Saints, Bristol, Moseley, Plymouth. Former Bristol captain goes over, and that's exactly what you want. Well, you had to have that.
And well helped by James Scott as well.
Yeah, everyone was in.
Riding pillion.
But you need it. This guy, Cousins, slotted a great conversion for their first score. My word, that's a beauty again. Game on.
Hartpury 14, Doncaster 21. Well, and that is just the response.
They know they can catch and drive, Nick. They did that in the first half with the Akabusi and Guerra trying. Grieve has done that. So yeah, there is momentum, but all you need to do now is get in those positions then. If this is the way of getting back in the game, which it has, if this is your way of winning the game, just do it.
It's rinse and repeat time,
yeah,
isn't it?
and just get that ball, give it to your half-backs, I don't mind the halfbacks kicking for a position like that. Don't kick away good possession. As Murphy just rests his weary limbs. All change. Well, it's a good start to the second half.
Yeah, it certainly is. Try time.
Here's the man again, Henry.
Henry is having a wonderful afternoon. Offering themselves, they're outside the 22 here. Gibson rolls his way out of it. Also had the change for Hartpury. Mike Fluke onto the field.
Well, the last chase from an up and under. This is from a box kick, obviously, was pathetic, to be honest. That one, much better. Right, tackle the man, don't let him offload.
Here comes Flockhart. Gets back inside, brushed off from Fluke. Savetta just holding his arm momentarily as he got up off the floor there. And now Doncaster again, coming through Ben Hunter. Played a key role in that second try. And we're back in for Olver. And a look over the head of Henry. Henry's done really well to get back and take that on the full. But they know that he's unlikely to put it into the air because he loves taking the contact, and perhaps that little bit of knowledge allowed Doncaster Knights to come in and put the pressure on. And what a turnover from Josh Tyrrell, and look at the opportunity this might create for Doncaster Knights. Ollie Steadman is going to brush them away and get in for his second score. And Hartpury, architects of their own downfall there, really. Well, what a finish from Steadman. It was the pressure on Jake Henry, and it's led to the fourth try.
Well, it was the big, well, they've got an international second row, and it's the big Samoan who does the job initially. Steadman, again, it's far too easy once they break that initial tackle, but the job was done before. It was the turnover from Josh Tyrrell, bending his back like a good seven.
$14 points to 26 with the conversion to come.
Bonus point already, so Doncaster will go away with something. They want the full 5.
They could move up to 7th with this result.
But again, see Hartpury come back into the game. They do so well. The catch and drive, over you go, and then it's too easy, isn't it? Well, but one bust of a defense, one turnover, obviously, which is the best type of ball. Movement of ball and another try.
But it was leaving Jake Henry on his own. That was the start of it all, wasn't it? Flockhart. He might have just stroked that one inside the far upright. It's a very, very nice effort. He's 4 from 4.
But it's
yellow card a long time ago.
You're absolutely right. There's no one around him. No one actually fighting to get with him. It's almost 3 seconds. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and it's just not good enough. Tanner gets there, but again, that's a tremendous turnover by the international Samoan. And just a simple ball and fall-offing tackles and fall off. Steadman won't mind me saying he's not the quickest, but I tell you, once he gets going, he'll take some stopping, and he's done that twice now. He's done brilliantly well.
6-all in Coventry against Cornish Pirates. It's there for James. Hoists it high.
That's a good kick.
Invites Wilcox to come onto it. Wilcox takes it well and then goes on a mazy little lateral run, trying to find someone to run off his shoulder. Not too many options. Bolt. And it's going to be a penalty to Doncaster Knights, and that, I think, was the work of Joe Sproston. Got himself into a key position to force that turnover.
Well, if Joe Sproston's got hold of you, he's got hold of you, hasn't he, basically? But again, it's isolation, it's simple things. These things shouldn't be happening in that side. But it came initially from a very good up and under. No different to the likes of what Cousins put up a Bolt. But what happens is the defensive line then is good. So he pushes the player infield. So everybody, right, it's your job. But boom, one contact there, holding onto the ball, another chance of 3. So.
Well, interesting decision here of Flockhart to go for the 3 points, because at this stage now Doncaster know they've got 4 points with the bonus point, and now victory is the most important thing.
Every opportunity you take, getting the points, you take them now with Doncaster this much, 14 points ahead, and Flockhart hasn't missed one, has he? Am I right? You said 4 out of 4.
Yep.
So I'll give him this. No wind to talk about whatsoever. He struck the ball pretty well, he's got the distance. It's only if he doesn't strike it properly.
Might just be coming down a little. Oh no, it's through.
Wait for the ball to go over the post.
Wait, don't give it away.
You've gone too quick again. The flock, I don't think he struck it. He didn't. He got underneath that one.
I wasn't sure it was going to have the legs, but a solid 3 points from the winger. Doncaster up to 31 now as Cousins is taking leave.
When things go against you, they go against you.
Okay.
Change made for Hartpury as the restart ball comes down. Tom Dodd. It's there for James. Just noticing Will Ryan is just feeling the ribs as he's getting up here. Doesn't seem too comfortable. Just over on the very far side. Box kick from James. Wilcox again. Oh, and he's just fumbled it forwards.
Brilliant.
I think we'll have the scrum here.
Look, this game is as hard or as complicated as you want to make it, to be truthfully honest. And that was a good setup again from James, the scrum half from Doncaster. And he just, again, I've termed this the snake, isn't it? You basically, as long as your arm's bound, you can go back as far as you want. You take your time. There is no chance whatsoever of Scott charging that down. That is a superb up and under. It's 3 to 4 seconds, or box kick, I should say. That's a fantastic chase by Tyson Lewis, who just waits his time. He doesn't take the man in the air. They knock the ball on. They gain, 30 metres.
Yeah.
And again, when you're in front by 17 points or so, 16 points.
Made to look easy, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's in Doncaster's hands now. And it would look like they're not going to lose this unless Hartpury can actually just get some dominance and keep hold of the ball.
They'll tell me.
But they've they've taken it well, Doncaster. Those 2 tries just before and after half-time.
Charlie, we've got an HIA here, please.
There's a higher coming off. Was it Wilcock? I think so. Correct thing to do if you've got any concerns whatsoever. There's the snake out there. As long as you're bound with your shoulder, that's fine. James loves it. You can always tell when you've hit it superbly well. It's just gone in and out of the breadbasket, and a good challenge. Oh dear. There's the thumbs up. It was the thumbs up for James and Lewis from Doncaster. Good kick, good chase.
Doncaster scrum. It's not going anywhere fast.
Come across to me, both of you, come across.
And now they'll just take their time, run the clock down.
Feet out, guys, we're going to get closer. Feet under the side.
Mike Mayhew's on, Kiwi, Auckland born. He had a great game last week. After Keogh comes on after Hunter, 2 good experienced hookers. Again, good scrummaging, good around the park. Very experienced. Obviously ex of Yorkshire, Carnegie, Waikato. And again, that's what's got them out of the hole, Doncaster. They're always too good to go down. Even losing that game just after Christmas against Yorkshire, Carnegie, who actually are too good to go. I think it'll be between Richmond and this team, Hartpury, today, because I can't see Hartpury coming back into this. Stranger things have happened, not writing them off.
Well, Richmond are up against Yorkshire, Carnegie currently.
So we'll see that result.
Yeah, we will keep an eye on that one. As Doncaster come through Route 1 through Will Owen, former Rotherham skipper. And then Sam Jones, who was a late addition to the side when Will Ryan was told he was going to be starting the game. James through the hands. Oh, that's really nice for Flocker. He's looking at his other options. He's gone for the little chip through, and the chase is on from James. Oh, that's the nature of the oval ball. And Richard Bolt is the first man to get his hands on it. James was the favourite to the race, but Bolt is opposite 9. was the first one to get there.
Can I ask a question? What on earth was Flockhart doing kicking that ball again? Yes, he could have, if the ball had bounced the other way, they'd have scored a try, but he's got people helping him. It's a tremendous move down that right-hand side. Oh dear.
Ian Grieve presents the ball for Bolt, and he's got the little snake of players themselves, and Guerra the one at the back providing the cover. Bolt will kick it up towards our camera position. Stedman will dummy that, but
here you go. I got coached by Pierre Villepreux back in the day, back in the heyday, one of the greatest French attacking coaches and players of all time, and he said sometimes you almost want to run back to your players, your own players, because that's where the support is. Don't panic. If you just wait.
They'll be there.
Look, I mean, again, 16 points ahead, that's great, they score that, the game's done. If the ball rolls the other way, but was it the right thing to do? In my eyes, no.
And we want your eyes. That's what we're here for.
God, I wish I had my newer eyes. My glasses on, eyes lasered.
There we go. It's all happening.
All happening.
Doncaster come down the near side again, and Cameron Cowell wants to try and get a run around the outside. He does find the support of Olver, whose pass inside is a little bit more speculative, and then they're looking to recycle quickly, and Joe Sproston, a lovely offload off the back of the hand, then back inside to Tom James. That's what Doncaster Knights have been doing so well all afternoon. Momentum into the score, and it's try number 5.
You can tell why Premiership clubs are sniffing at Tom James. He just gets a lot of time around that base of that ruck and ball. Scrum doesn't really matter, whatever. The handoff from, the out of the back hand from Joe Sproston was outstanding. But again, just watch James here. Run, hold. Put the big lad through. And we've seen now 3 props through the gaps. Colin Quigley initially, Richard Lister, now Tom Sproston straight through there. And again, he's backing up. It's easy. It's too easy. You're breaking the defensive line too easy.
James's second score. Doncaster's 5th of the game. And Will Owen is just staying down. Get a bit of attention. Now that's a full-time score we have there. Jersey Reds under Harvey Biljon, 29-13 winners over Bedford Blues. Conversion is good from Flockhart, 6 out of 6 from him.
Well done, Harvey's boys out in Jersey. They still may have something to say about this league. They've got to travel to London Irish. They've beaten them at home. And it looks like Doncaster are back up the motorway with smiles on. But again, watch this. Again, 3 big props. That you shouldn't be able to do that. I know he started his career in the back row, but he's a big lad. He's lost a lot of weight as Joe Sproston, and he's the better for it. He scrummages well, but again, with that dexterity, it's an easy game. It's easy.
Very nicely done from the visitors. Well tapped back in field from Civetta, and then tidied up from Mayhew. Everything going to hand at the minute for Doncaster Knights.
They ain't going to break the mould, are they? Just get the snake back out. Tom James there, left-footed box kick. Big chase from Tyson Lewis. This time he gets charged down because they have learnt a little bit.
And Hezade is trying to give chase.
Well, they're trying to give a try to Hartpury here, aren't they, desperately?
Dougie Flockhart wants to have a bit of fun inside his own 22, make it a little bit harder for himself. Olver calling people over. Wants them to set up another platform before he's going to clear his lines. He really is marshalling his troops from that fly half position.
But he's good because he's just pointing, I want you there, I want you there. That's what you need. Even if you know you should be there as a player, sometimes these forwards have been down the floor, up on the floor, they get their heads in places they shouldn't do. You do need another pair of eyes.
Sam Jones as well then providing the platform. Now they will have the chance to clear. James is told to use it. Uses the left peg again. Jake Henry comes onto the ball, dummies the offload and takes the contact. Hezade. He's been playing in the Premiership Shield with Bristol this season.
Well, they'll need him just to add a little bit more oomph, won't they? You know what I mean by oomph.
He certainly can do that.
Yeah, you've just got to carry strong, carry hard, bust that tackle.
There he is. It was a decent tackle, though, to be said, from Seniloli. Contact taken from Jamie Forrester. Ball is ferreting around there on the floor, but the referee's held an arm out, so maybe a penalty advantage. maybe just a knock-on advantage, but Sam Leeming in the 23 shirt has just played it on.
Luke Eves just barrels Olver out the way.
Into the last quarter of the game, and Guerra decides to take responsibility for it. Decent number of yards from him on the surge. Leeming, little look, Tom James spotted it and brings him down. Ahizade's looking to try and provide cover. It's all a little bit loose from Hartpury, and for all the bluff and bluster, scrum down Doncaster ball.
You just said it, a little bit loose, a little bit uncontrolled. And like I said, coming into this game, you asked me, because they almost got to play the perfect game, really. You know what Doncaster were going to bring to the down, a very experienced, streetwise pack of forwards, good ball carriers, very good halfbacks. You see James making the tackle, and now it's just, there's not enough people there, they're getting pushed off the ball, the body positions aren't right, Jake Henry, and it's loose. You mentioned it, scrappy, loose.
Cameron Cowell there making one hit, seeing the ball was on the other shoulder and making the left hit as well.
Last 20 minutes now. And you have to fear probably for Hartpury, because definitely in this game, but again, unless they can get hold of some experience and some ammunition, I would say, I would call that, from the likes of Bristol, maybe Pat Lamb, have got some lads down there they can lend them for the sort of second half of the season. It's going to be a hard slog.
Well, Ahizadeh is one of those who has been playing plenty of rugby this season for Bristol. He's been at Hartpury a couple of times as well.
The problem is with these loan guys, they can actually be loaned sort of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, we got someone injured, and they're just, you know, you've trained with them all week, and all of a sudden we want them back now. And
conversely, they can come in last minute and they're not quite up to speed with the game plan.
Exactly, so they can come in on a Thursday, Friday. It's good of them to come in, but they haven't been there.
It can be disruptive.
Well, it is, but that's the unforgiving sort of nature of James goes off as he. That's the unforgiving nature of the championship.
Robin Hislop as well, leaving the field. Great contribution from Tom James, has to be said.
Sinoli now, the Fijian scrum half, is on. He's experienced internationally again. Scored with his first touch for Doncaster up at Castle Park in that game against Yorkshire, which they lost, unfortunately. But literally, it was his first touch. Came on the wing.
Lovely.
Well, he's Fijian, he can play anywhere he wants. Well, not in the front row, obviously, but you know what I mean? It just...
Well, I don't know, if he's playing under Eddie Jones, he might find himself on the flank.
Careful then.
And it is away from the Fijian. And into Will Owen. Had an understated game, Owen, but he has taken those yards in the midfield when Doncaster Knights have needed him to.
Nuts and bolts, mate. The two of the centres, Creed and Owen, they just do what they need to do. And flat and flashy, just do it. Set the position, because they're right in the middle of the field. The stretch is there, form the snake. You can either move it both ways, but no, the sensible thing to do is just exit, give them the line out, and put pressure on them.
And he's got really good distance on that box kick as well. After everything Tom James has been doing, he's stepped onto the field similarly and followed very admirably. Ball is in from Luke Stratford, replacement hooker on for Hartpury, was in the England student squad last year that lost that two-match series in France, but plenty of experience for players of his type. And now Harry Cochrane is on as well, who can be a bit of a live wire when he wants to be. Ball's been lost forward in the tackle though, and Steadman will pick it up and right-footed rocket it down to the right-hand corner. There's absolutely nobody back there. Luke Stratford's going to be the first to fall on it, and then the follow-up tackle. There's a roll on the floor from Stratford. Cochrane is looking for the backup. What a thump from Ollie Steadman.
That's called experience as well. He knew they were all up in the line. There was no one at home at the back. I'm not going to run with this ball. I'm not going to give it anywhere. I'm going to do what my instinct tells me is put the ball 40 metres down there, chase up, and that's exactly what's happened.
Spot on tactic. Cowell, lovely offload in the tackle, but then a really good hit from Jake Henry to make sure that Doncaster couldn't get that momentum down the near side. So they'll have to recycle again. In the hands of Sam Jones again. Gets the ball recycled. Fijian scrum half then looks to get going and finds Tyrrell as the Islanders combine up to the 22. Now looking to try and get Cooker ball, which they've not got there, Doncaster, so they'll set it up and try and draw in another couple of Hartpury defenders and then get it slightly quicker away, which they do. Sproston runs into a double red wall There again, Olver. Steadman was the up front runner. They look to come out the back a little more for Owen. And now they'll come back again. Civetta. Seniloli looks again for Jones, then Olver. Olver with the triple miss pass out to Flockhart. Flockhart steps back inside off the right peg, takes the tackle. Seniloli again. This the most lateral Doncaster have looked all game, as a few of the replacements are struggling to just find the holes, but now they might, as Olver pulls the strings again, and it's really nicely worked for Toby Williams. Seniloli once more. They've only got 2 or 3 down this near side, not the tidiest of balls, but it was knocked out of the hand. And is Steadman going to try and get a hat-trick?
He's trying.
He certainly is trying. Seniloli again, shorter ball for Civetta, thought he might get through, back to his feet, not held, and now 2 metres short. Tackle is better from Hartpury again. Seniloli back in field, double tackle to try and stop Calladine, and then the pick up, and in fact it's going to be, I thought for a moment the referee was going under the post for more, but it is the score for Mayhew. Try number 6, and Hartpury, well, they held out for as long as they possibly could, but the dam looked like it was going to break, and it finally did.
It's heaping the misery on Hartpury here. It's good retention of the ball, good phases again. It's not too flashy, but my God, it's effective. Again, big international, USA international second, and Civetta going through. He's quite right to do that. He wasn't held in the tackle, he wasn't called by the referee. Recycle. Sinoli's come on. One pass to Calladine, takes 2 guys, defenders with him. 2 other guys are in there, so there's 4 down. It's just too easy. It's too easy. He's not missed, has he? Flockhart. Nope. You'll get this one.
He's doing everything he can to make sure we all forget that he had a yellow card.
Yep. I think he got 13 points at the Cov, I think. Something in the back of my mind's telling me that. So he's a prolific. 15. He's on 15 now. He's prolific goal scorer. But just watch this. This one contact from Calladine, the captain. 1-2. I don't mind that. And then it's another 2 guys go in. So one guy is basically sacked forward. You can't defend the guard areas around the corner. It's easy peasy. Somebody's limping off. Is it Steadman? It is Steadman, I think.
Yeah.
2 tries. He's not going to get his hat-trick. Who have they got next? They've got Richmond at home. That will be a big game to target. Ealing away, then Nottingham at home. So they've got an easier next 3 games, it would say on paper, than Hartpury, with Pirates away, Coventry away, and Richmond at home. So here we go again. We'll see what Sinoli's box kicking is like. Toby Williams. There's a lot of Rotherham players on this pitch. You're right, he goes longer, doesn't he? But again, the chase, there won't be any gaps in the chase.
Garrett looking to build up a head of steam into the contact, which he does. Slightly more cushioned into the contact these days than perhaps he once was.
Yeah, can't believe he's taken some battering over the years. One of Gloucester's, one of the Shed's favourites.
And look at that! Look at the celebrations from the Doncaster players as they just force a simple knock-on from Hartpury. Tails up.
Yeah. Well, there's one. We've been having a few dogs, haven't we, on show today? Some are up with the tails up. That's Doncaster. Some with the tails down. It's definitely Hartpury.
Tails between legs.
See the captain Simon Linsell's trying to generate something in his troop. Matt Gilbert, with all his experience there, the red scrum cap, has come on, but it's too little, too late. They ain't getting anything out of this game. I was going to say at one point, look, get 4 tries. They've got 2, and if you get 4, you get a point. Get within 7, that's 2 points. Something to build. They're coming away with Nout.
Charlie Foley looking like he's going to make his impact. Another man from Rotherham.
It's an unforgiving league, this is, Nick.
Yes.
Matt Cornwall saying about it. There's no Rotherham this year. They're that sort of scapegoat of Rotherham. So there's no pressure in from last season. This season there is, because there's no easy games. You can see Jersey dispatching Bedford. Bedford dispatched Ealing. London Irish, all right, they haven't gone the season winning all the games. They lost at Jersey, but there's no easy games.
Flockhart from the scrum, 10-metre line. Oh, that wasn't the easiest ball for Mayhew, and Hartpury will have the scrum.
Just a mistake. They've made many in the second half of the Doncaster. But again, what he does is just takes the clock down. They can just form the scrum. It'll take a minute and a half. They'll be happy with this. Even my mate Clive Griffiths might be smiling. Not on camera, inwardly.
I went to interview him at the start of the game, and obviously our microphone heads have the Championship logo and the England Rugby logo.
Right,
he said, could you face that away from me, please?
I was talking to Luke Eves as well. You mentioned in that is just wish all the best to Rhys Oakley. Obviously he's been through his cancer, and we believe through Luke that it's got it all clear.
Fantastic
and brilliant. So wish him all the best. Tremendous player.
Okay, we've got a good gap this side. The last two scrums.
Cochrane.
This gap here. We must, both of you.
Assistant groundsman at Hartpury.
Yep. Okay. You've got a good gap this side. The last two scrums.
Come and do my garden once. We've got 2 boxes and a sausage dog. They've ruined it. It used to be pristine.
It presents quite an image.
Yeah, you should see them running together.
Yeah. Free kick, Hartpury. Cochrane wants them to go quickly. And Kara, you could see him gesturing. He wanted someone on the outside of that shoulder. Cochrane again, wanting to keep the tempo going. Leeming. Good line. Luke Eves does what Luke Eves does. Cochrane to Ahizadeh. Gets his body low. It's what you want to see from Ahizadeh. Doesn't often really get into that full leg drive, and he's got the power. Certainly do need to see it. Good take from Stratford, buffeted into the tackle, and they come again through Leeming. Kara was the one looking outside, but he'll give support to get that ball recycled from Forrester, and then Eves again, and he'll get support from Tom Dodd. And Kara, the link man that time, on for Stratford again. Oh, it's a penalty to Doncaster. Just as Cochrane was complaining to the referee they weren't getting quick ball, all he was doing was highlighting how well Sprossard had slowed it down.
Yes, it's a faithful look on. There's a Labrador behind. It is a dog show. We're at Crufts. They're all behind. But again, they can play it at any pace they want. That's a bad mistake. Was that Foley kicking the ball? I was looking at the dogs. But
Wilcox, Henry on the little switch back inside. Cochrane, Stratford with the dummy, but he wasn't going to get rid of it. Instead, buffets his way into Savetta. Leeming, looking out the back for Wilcox. It's a nice run from the fullback. Taking a couple of decent hits himself today. Then back in field, and Kara out the back for Leeming. They could have a bit of momentum on the outside here if they could really get going. Hartpury up to the 10-metre line, quick ball, and they've got players down this near channel. They're queuing up. If they could have had that a little quicker. Doncaster doing just enough to slow it down at the right times. They'll come back into the middle of the field for the penalty.
Right, go into the corner. You've scored 2 catch and drives. You've got 9 minutes to go. You get into the corner, you get third try, because you ain't winning this game, but you might get a point. That's the only way you're going to get a point.
Hell of a job, but I like the ambition. Leeming. He'll try and get as much out of that as he can.
That'll do.
That's pretty good.
Right. Simon Lidsell, we call in this lineup. I'm sure this will be a 2-ball. That's what they've gone the last 2 times.
Matt Gilbert in there as well, and Ahizadeh. They've got plenty of options here.
Well, I think he'll go to the captain at 2. What do I know? Goes to Ahizadeh at the back.
Yeah. He brings it down. Look at that, Sproston straight in over it.
But the problem is, when you go to the back, it gives the defending side more chance to sack it. Yeah, they'll go into the corner. They'll be able to get closer now. But time isn't on their side if they want to get 4 tries.
Into the corner they go. Hacked in that time.
If I'm a betting man, they go to 2 this time.
Okay. So,
yeah, 20 wasn't.
We are looking then at the line and whether this is going to go to the front, as Dowie says. Absolutely spot on. Linsell takes it. Cochrane driving them on. We might get Hartpury's third score of the game here.
Well, you got Ben Foley this side, you can't see it, but he's right on the touchline here, wanting the ball, crossfield kick.
Side entry penalty given against Doncaster.
They'll have another warning after, if then someone else brings it down. They'll be go down to 14.
Next one goes.
There you go, next one goes, which is fine, but they're happy to take that. This will go into the corner, waste another 30 seconds.
So no, let's move off the marks and kick it out.
Leaning. Knows what he needs to do once more. Now we'll leave it to the forwards, who will decide again whether they're going to go to the front option.
Well, it all depends. I don't think Doncaster are going to go up, so they're not jumping against them. So they're just going to defend, so they can go wherever they want.
Still dummies at the front, they go to the middle via Dodd.
Get the backs in, get over, get the third try, you get a chance of a point. This should go now, this should be a try.
Shoving and driving as they do. Can the referee see the ball on the line? He's gone penalty try.
Yeah.
Well, that's a full 7. It doesn't make any difference to their shutting down of the scoreline, but it does crucially give them the third try. One more, and they could get a point out of the game.
Mate, and now, you never know. Come to the end of the season, there's plenty of games to go. How important is that point going to be? If they get it. Again, the new rule, no penalty try. You don't need the conversion, they'll save time on that. Forwards net get the back, you can watch Doncaster as the try goes over. Well, it didn't go over because the referee's given it. Underneath the post, it's better for Hartpury. Doncaster, surprisingly, are just strolling up to the halfway line, which is what they can do until the referee says to up it.
Should there have been a yellow card? Are you a man who believes that if it's penalty try, someone has committed a
I'm with you.
Sufficient foul?
I'm with you, but I think they'll take yes. Whether he can identify who actually was the culprit.
Thank you for your answer.
That's probably the only way he hasn't got. But here Hartpury come now. What have they got? 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
Leaning onto Eves, who does well to hold on to it. Cochrane, Wilcox.
But they don't want to make a mistake. They've got, you've got 5 minutes to go. There's plenty of time.
Yeah, they can still kick the corners. They look like they're trying to play for try number 4 from their own 22. Doncaster have taught them a lesson in this area of the field before. And turnover ball in this area is not what you want if you're looking for try number 4.
I did used to play, you know. Sometimes I think whether I did, but again, you've got 5 minutes. Hoof the ball down there, force Doncaster into a mistake. From watching the game for 75 minutes, you haven't been the most potent attack threat coming forward, Hartpury. So basically, you need to be going down and say you're very good at a set piece move. That's your strength. Carrying your ball from your 22 down there, I don't think is going to work, and it hasn't.
What this is likely to do is give Doncaster more time to run down the clock.
Yep.
Or get try number 7.
Here we go. You just go. Get left. Crouch.
After this,
That's the slip guard. Both sides. Yeah, we will. We'll move it. Yeah. We're going to move it.
Just going to wait for this scrum to get reset. Doncaster won't mind how long this takes.
Big Joe there just removing about 10.5 from his boots.
Half of the Cotswolds.
Yeah, I'm just clearing me studs here. I'm coming now when I'm ready. There's a lot of weight in that front when you're with Mayo, Williams and Sproston.
Quite right.
Where are they going to go? You've got Cam Cowell is standing on the right hand side. You got Charlie Foley on this left hand side. Sinoli does the dummy and off they go.
Little ball back inside. Cowell looking for it. It was tapped back off a red hand, but will play on as it's into the hands of Foley. Or in fact, we're having the penalty for the tap. Cochrane can't believe it because I think he believes it went backwards.
They'll go for 3.
Well, they're eyeing up what they are going to do. The referee has a little look at the watch.
People are shouting corner. If it's me, you go for 3.
They're going to have a look at this.
It takes a minute. There's no problem. He hasn't missed a kick.
Well, while he eyes up this one, Dowie, we've seen plenty of scores go over, and a brace of scores for James and a brace of scores for Steadman, but your choice for the Greene King IPA man of the match.
Well, the two guys I would have mentioned, I think Tom James has basically had a tremendous game. He's had an armchair ride, his props have been outstanding. Sproston's making one, Hislop making one, and Quigley making one. Steadman gets 2 tries, but my Greene King IPA man of the match is a guy who played 10. There he is, Sam Olver. I know I played with his dad, I had a coffee with him before. There's no nepotism there, I can assure you. Basically, I think he's been outstanding. He's called the shots, he played well. Get in the shot, boy. I'm giving you man of the match. He played well at Coventry, orchestrated things. He's done superbly well today, making a try just before half-time, making a try just after half-time, which broke the back of Hartpury College. So Sam Olver is my Greene King IPA man of the match.
Decent shout as well. We will aim to hear from Mr. Olver as well before our coverage is up here of our championship match, as Flockhart makes it 8 out of 8 and 18 points. Deserving of a mention himself, quite frankly.
Oh, look, again, he's played well. He kicked them to victory at Coventry.
You can't give man of the match to somebody with a yellow card, can you?
Well, you can. I've done that before. And sometimes you're going to take one for the team. He did take one for the team, and I just hope Hartpury can.
So they're looking for try number 4. The ball goes forward from Simon Linsell, the skipper.
Well, the Hartpury clock.
You could hear the frustration there.
It's been the story of the day. Again, it's when you're forcing things, when you're wanting things to happen, they don't. I would say one thing they've got to work on is getting quicker to the contact. When Hartpury have taken the ball in on 2 or 3 occasions, they got isolated and turned the ball over. Turnover ball kills sides. That would be one thing I would work on. Trying to get the ball out as quick as possible. But I think the cavalry will come. We've seen that with Yorkshire Carnegie, Chris Sterling bringing people in. I hope that happens for Hartpury and gives themselves a rejuvenation for the second half of the season. They need a bit of quality, a bit of experience, a bit new legs, and hopefully that some of the big clubs can lend him a few guys. So we will see. That's a good scrum.
Doncaster under plenty of pressure, but they do well through Tyrrell, who tidies it up for them, and then Seniloli knows what the call is from the referee as far as the clock is concerned, and there is the final whistle. Well, job comprehensively done from Doncaster Knights. The second half that saw 6 tries all in all, but it was 2 for the home side, 4 for the visitors, and crucially when Steadman got his second try and the 4th try bonus, Hartpury really did just start to fall away at that point. Then scores from Tom James and Mayhew. We saw Ian Grieve go over for the home side, and a penalty try as well. But Hartpury will just miss out on taking anything from this game, and it just seems to be a little bit of the same old for John Barnes, Darren Morris.
It's the harsh reality. They haven't had a win since. Well, they've only had two league wins this season. They haven't had a win since round 4, and it is what it is. Unfortunately, it's a very uncompromising, physical, hard league, and they're just not up to scratch at the moment. Like I said, I hope the cavalry comes, because I love the story, I love the endeavour, I love the setup here. I think the coaches are great. But they're just coming up against better sides, and they're not taking anything out of it. They just made far too many mistakes today, getting quickly into the contact area. So Doncaster totally deserved it.
Well, let's have a look at the highlights from the second half then. Full time here, 21-48, and this was the pressure.
Exactly. This sums it up for me. It's a fantastic take from Sam Olver. It's a great burst up the middle of the field. He does so well. He presents the ball, but now there's no one at home. There's no communication there, but it comes from initially the kick. Again, you don't charge up in a line like that. Someone goes up for that ball. If he takes it, it's the $1 million ball. You take that, you're through to score. But the percentage chances of you doing that is low. And big USA international takes it, scores the try. There you go, dancing. Inside his opposite number, Cousins. Presentation of the ball. And like I said, Doncaster won't score many tries in the big USA second row. Civietta won't either.
Well, at this stage, as Doncaster went for that first try of the second half, having compounded the try from Tom James before the break, they did build up that 14-point advantage, but Ian Grieve was able to hit back straight away.
And that's what you wanted. They did that in the first half. They did that in the second, but again, it was too far in between, unfortunately. It was a good score. It was a good response, and you think, right, okay, If you're going to be able to do stuff, do it now. And this is what I'm talking about. It's the speed to the contact area. Jake Henry's been a bit of a thorn in Doncaster's side, carrying the ball. And Josh Tyrrell just turns it over as quickly as that because there's not enough support there. And equally, defence is very, very frail. There's too many holes. Steadman goes out for his second. And too easy. So they do so much good stuff. They get into a corner. They do what they're good at. And unfortunately, they just let themselves down by not regrouping, not communication. A simple turnover ball is the best type of ball, as you know, but that's too easy. Nick, that's far, far too easy.
Yeah, it certainly is. So Steadman with his second, as we said, and then Flockhart with another penalty to make it 5 out of 5, and then Tom James springing up on the inside of what was more great interlinking play.
Well, he starts in initially, doesn't he? Just coming round the corner, opening up his shoulder, just asking defenders to come on to him. He puts the big prop forward Joseph Proston through the gap. That's fantastic dexterity from out the backhand, and he's just following up as he's done most of the day. They've had a good platform to play off, both Oliver and him, and then it just became too easy after that. The big forwards came off. The bench played an impact, but again, there's no one at home. Calladine takes the ball in, 4 people go in for that ball, and it's, you know, I'd be frustrated if I was coaching, I think, Hartpury, because I think you set that up, and what you need to do is communicate. Look, 2 guys go in, 2 guys get taken off, no one at home.
Yeah, far too easy for Mayhew, wasn't it? Flockhart with that penalty then, 7 out of 7. Just got another little look at that one. And just nobody there, close quarters, as Mayhew makes the finish. We then had the penalty try from Hartpury, and Flockhart adding another penalty, so 8 out of 8 for him. But well, we are hoping that we can now hear from our Greene King IPA Championship player of the match, and well, Sam Olver joins us. Sam, thanks very much for your time. I hope you can hear us up here in Coventry. Many congratulations on the result. You guys, well, we're in a tussle until just after the break, but once you broke free with Steadman's try and the interlinking that you guys seemed to put together out there, it seemed to do the business for you this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. It was tough first half. They got off the line and knocked us back a few times, but we dug deep, came out in the second half and got the rewards with our fitness towards the end there.
Sam's Dewi here, mate. You must be enjoying just actually getting out of the field playing, because obviously you've had a loan spell with Doncaster before when you were at Northampton Saints, but it's, you know, you performed well last week and you performed well again this week.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's been a tough season up to this point, not played too much rugby, but last couple of games started and played a bit of rugby, and I'm starting to find my feet again, so I'm really enjoying it.
Well, Sam, a very polite way of saying you're finding your feet. You were pulling the strings out there brilliantly. You enjoying the role?
Yeah, loving it. It's difficult when you're not playing, when you're paid to be a rugby player. So to come up to Doncaster and actually play some minutes, it's really enjoyable.
You better buy prop forwards a pint today, mate. They've made some great yardage for you today.
Yeah, they made my job pretty easy, to be honest. Gave me a lot of time.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, listen, Sam, thank you very much for joining us. We'll let you join them, but we will present you with the keg, and you are the Greene King IPA Championship man of the match. Well played, and
cheers, guys.
And to the rest of the team.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, great to hear from Sam there, and well, a hatful of tries for Doncaster Knights this afternoon, and once again Hartpury are still looking for that 3rd victory in the Greene King IPA Championship. Difficult to see at this time where it's going to come. Of course, we have results coming in all the time in the Championship, and you can get all those results on the Twitter feed as well. But it has finished. Hartpury College at 21, Doncaster Knights at 48. Dowie, thanks again for your time as always. And if you want to continue your live streaming action, we'll continue on the England Rugby Facebook page, or get over to premier15s.com, or indeed the England Rugby YouTube page, because Nathan Middleton will be here in a moment with Marley Packer for live Tyrrell's Premier 15s action. But from all of us here from the Greene King IPA Championship, it's a very good afternoon.